It's my privilege to speak first here this afternoon evening. So what I'd like to start off with by saying is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and babies, because I know we have some. I can't believe my speech is actually starting on time today, because that must mean that for the first time in a long time, Amy wasn't late. But moving on seriously now, on behalf of our families on the top table, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone here today on this delayed due to COVID, but not delayed due to Amy, much anticipated occasion. That's only two so far, Amy. Okay, so whether you are friends or relatives, you have all had some part to play in contributing to the lives of either Amy, DJ, or both over the years. And because of that involvement, you are truly valued. And your presence here today is very important to us. You have given your precious time. Some have travelled long distances, even from the United States of America, or made other special arrangements to be here to celebrate the wedding of Amy and DJ. And for that, we are extremely grateful for you in making this day extra special. I would also just like to take the opportunity to thank all of those involved in the planning and delivery of this wedding, including the florists, the photographers, and the staff here at Easton Grange. You have all done a wonderful job, and you should be very proud of your efforts. So I'd like you to please give them a very warm round of applause. A wedding is, of course, a time mainly for joy and fun, with family and friends gathered to celebrate with the happy couple as they embark on a new chapter in their lives. But I'm sure that many of you, like me, will also be sparing a thought to those people who have meant so much to us and shaped our families and lives, but sadly cannot be here with us today. So please let us raise a glass and toast those who we miss greatly, but remember with love and fond memories. To absent friends.
Cheers.
Okay, now let's turn our attention to the bride's younger days and former boyfriends. I'm sure that's why many of you are here today, to hear this, or perhaps not. But before I start, I must say, doesn't Amy look truly wonderful today? And for me, for one, you've taken my breath away. So Amy Rose was born on the 2nd of November 1992. That's just 10,740 days ago. I can work that out on my Excel spreadsheets. And it was a Monday, and certainly in my eyes, she's always lived up to that traditional poem of Monday's Child. Now, back in 1992, I did do a quick bit of research, and John Major was our Prime Minister. End of the Road by Boys to Men was number one in the charts. Anybody? Anybody? And sorry for the Ipswich Town fans here, but actually Norwich were on top of the Premier League. But we'll quickly move on for that, because I know we've lots of Red supporters here, so we won't say who won the Premier League that season. But having Amy arrive for Jeanette and myself gave ourselves at that time a lovely little family. We had our treasured son Joe, who was with us, and then a lovely daughter. So we had a proper pigeon pair. And so in our eyes, we already had our prince in Joe, and now we had a princess to match. And you have always and always will be my little princess, Amy. But now you have grown to becoming the empress to DJ's emperor. So, what's in a name? Amy is an anagram of May. Don't take that much to work out, really. But May was a dear auntie of Jeanette's who grew up on the south coast of Ireland before moving to Woodbridge. And I can remember visiting Auntie May many times. But one of the strangest sort of stories she used to recount in her memories as a young child is she actually remembered the sights she saw after sinking of the Lusitania in 1915. And that has always stuck with me. So that's where Amy came from. You'll get a lot of history in this speech, by the way. And Rose, that also comes from both sides of our families. Because again, from Jeanette's side, there was a dear little Auntie Rose, who again, I remember lived with Auntie May in an old shop in Woodbridge that we often used to visit. And Rose is also my mum's middle name and my nana's Christian name. So apart from being steeped in history, what actually was Amy Rose like in her younger days? Well, what I remember is that even then, Amy was always pushing at the limits. Strong-willed, independent, determined, and spoke her mind, but always with a cheeky sense of fun. The former traits have meant that we've not always seen eye to eye, because from my side, I can be stubborn, and a sort of dad is not always right, but he's always your dad type of guy. But as we're growing older, and hopefully wiser, these past differences subside day by day. And so we'll move on to some of my treasured memories of Amy Rose. One of my very earliest memories was Amy drawing all over the front door and wall of our house with an indelible pen. Never have found out what drove her to do that. Amy would never go to bed properly. She used to sit on the stairs after I'd put her to bed and could watch the telly through the door until her loving brother Joe would say, "Dad, Amy's not in bed, you know." And she would always wait till that last minute before moving while I chased her up the stairs back into her bedroom. The brotherly and sisterly love and war with Joe, because at times it was love and times it did seem like war. Never a quiet moment when our backs were turned. Always something going on. A little nip here, a little push there. Another favourite memory of mine is Amy had a friend called Dolly. I think you're still in touch with Dolly. And I used to get banned to the kitchen while they practiced in the front room. And then suddenly I would get called in and be treated to a music and dance show with the lights down and me shining a torch to highlight each of their dances and moves. Other special memories are the holidays that the three of us shared. And we went on quite a few camping holidays in the UK at that time. It's got very topical now with COVID. But those are the sort of the holidays that we had. And it got to the point where we could never agree on what to do on any other day. So we came to a very sort of diplomatic and democratic situation where Joe would choose what was happening on one day. Joe would always choose fishing. I would choose another day, which tended to be if the weather was not so good, but that would be something to do with history. Normally a nice tour of a stately home, or if you're lucky enough, a castle. And Amy would always choose the beach. But I do remember on one particular holiday when we were near a pool, there was this lovely indoor arena with sort of slides and water slides and everything, and she would always choose splashdown. And another memory from a holiday was when we were across in Spain. We were lucky enough to get across to Spain in 2006 as a family. And I'm pretty sure that Amy invented the word mahusive. Because we used to go swimming in the sea, and there was these really particular odd waves that if you were just outside where the waves were breaking, you were sort of like quite safe in the ground, and you could float there quite safely for quite a long time. But if you just got 2 or 3 feet closer to the beach, the waves would suddenly suck you under and then spit you out on the beach a few minutes later. And so Amy invented those as mahusive waves. So I think, and I've looked this up, it's a sort of like a merger of huge and massive. And it's actually an official word now in the dictionaries. But of course, last but not least, Amy was a very competitive show jumper, which she undoubtedly gets from her mum. I can remember Jeanette placing Amy on the back of her stallion Levante back at Woodbridge Horse Show in around 1994. And I think Amy would have been barely 18 months old. And I know that Grandma and Grandad were there at that time, because Amy was just sitting there and she picked up the reins and went, "Giddy up!" But with that in mind, Amy, as I was looking through some things, I did find one of these very early rosettes, which I'm going to present to you today. So this was for musical sax. Third one. 1998 musical sax. Oh, sorry, what's that purple one?
Highly commended.
Highly commended. What's it say on the back?
That was the fancy dress for the witch.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to give you that one. Highly commended witch. That's why I should have told you about that before, DJ. Anyhow, apart from her timekeeping, Amy is also famous for having an odd blonde moment or two. Not quite saying the right thing or understanding the situation. So, had a couple of good stories when we were on the stag weekend come my way. So, I understand when you were skiing in Canada, you were travelling up to the resort. Chris was in the front as a passenger, but I understand, Chris, you're not necessarily always like a little bit of a nervous passenger when you're not driving. And and there was a sheer drop on Chris's side. And Amy was in the back saying, "Oh no, look down there. We could all fall to our deaths." Which didn't reassure Chris greatly, as I understand it.
Can I just interrupt? The joke there was when we actually got to the end of that journey, just before we got to the actual place we'd hired, the driver mistook the road, and we almost did go over the edge. And he slammed on the brakes, and he was that close to going over the edge.
You didn't tell me that bit.
Good order for a reason.
Yeah, obviously.
And I think there was another occasion when Lynn brought out some frozen ice cream.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And there was also a hot cup of water brought out with a spoon in to warm the spoon so that you can then put that into the frozen ice cream. But Amy decided to place the whole tub of frozen ice cream on top of the hot cup to defrost it.
Did it work?
But Amy has also earned a few nicknames over her time. Now, some of you may or may not know that I actually do call Amy Maggot most of the time. And this goes back to these days when we spent time fishing as a family. And it's really quite simple in that Amy at the time, she was only a little girl, but we used to go fishing, but she was small and wriggly, just like those maggots in the bait box. And it's as easy as that. But the other thing I meant to ask DJ was whether Amy was, is a good kisser.
Complain,
He can't complain.
complain now.
Because one of the things that we used to happen, and I've confirmed this with Joe, it's not just my ageing memory playing tricks on me, but Amy did used to kiss the fish that she caught before putting them back in the water. And so that's probably, DJ, why she is such a good kisser. I understand, DJ, you call her munchkins?
Yeah, well, yeah, one of the few.
One of the few, but I'm going to leave DJ to explain that one to you, anyone who's interested afterwards. And another one that comes up is quite often is Bootstrap Bill Turner.
Yeah, bootstrap.
Which is, from the films, Pirates of the Caribbean. But moving on. Now, during her school years and well into her 20s, Amy spent every spare minute with her ponies and horses, just like her mum had before her. Initially competing at gymkhanas and then moving on to show jumping. And Amy competed very successfully at all levels. At first locally, moving up to affiliated jumping, on to regional competitions and then national competitions. And that does require a lot of dedication and hard work. And for a long period, Amy was ranked on the Young Riders leaderboard, which is no mean feat. And what I do know is that Amy owes much to her mum for her support during all these years. Amy has taken the same determination to succeed to her working life with Juice Plus, which I understand starting around 2013 with DJ, and over the years they've built into a very successful team, and Amy has earned promotion to International Marketing Director. So, and Amy with DJ, and I also know that Jeanette is strongly involved in this, they've travelled all over the UK, across to Ireland and Sweden to help share her experiences, her enthusiasm, helping to motivate others and building the business together. Amy and DJ have attended many Juice Plus events, including travel to Nape Valley in California. And I'm sure you'll wish me in joining them every success in these for the future. So, now we come to the important part. Boyfriends and DJ. That's not as bad as it seems, Amy, don't worry. But Amy did have her first boyfriend at primary school, a young lad called Timmy Williams. And then there was a couple at high school that I remember, because quite often they'd come round in the evenings and I'd give them a lift home. Stephen, I think the less said about him, the better. Because, shall I say? I think he finished with you because he said you smelt of horses, but best to wave him bye-bye. And then there was also Michael that I remember. And I think that sort of fizzled out when he left school and you left school and he went on to university. But soon after leaving school, Amy passed her test and we bought her a first car, which was a 1999 black Peugeot with a registration of something like T385 COG. And I think also at this time you went off to working at a stud, which was at Warwickshire? Worcestershire, sorry. Over that Wales way, anyhow. And one afternoon at the weekend, much to my surprise and a little bit to my consternation, Amy brought a certain Mark Edwards back for me to meet. And Mark was a very pleasant young man. He was Welsh. He was from a family of sheep farmers. And I got talking to him, and most of the time I try and steer conversation around to rugby. And we got talking about Wembley, 1999, Now you're thinking Wembley, 1999. There wasn't any rugby played at Wembley. Well, Twickenham was being redeveloped at the time. And so England's matches, home matches, were being played at Wembley. And England were 31-25 up in injury time, when unfortunately a certain Scott Gibbs crashed over for a try for Wales and Neil Jenkins converted it. And this was coming out in conversation. And then Mark, in his best Max Boyce impression, said, "I know, because I was there." And of course England lost that match, lost their Grand Slam, and fortunately for me, it didn't work out with you, Amy. And moving on, after that, I think Amy said she dated a food show jumpers. And I questioned Amy about this. I said, "Well, what exactly do you mean? What, Harvey Smith, David Broom?" She said, "Who?" She said, "No, they'd be far too old, Dad." I said, "Well, what about the Whittaker brothers, Michael and John?" She said, "No, still too old." I said, "Okay, then Nick Skelton," sort of struggling to find some more names. It was still a no, but getting closer. But when I said Ben Mayer, he said, "Yeah, that's getting closer. You're getting there." But, of course, it was around 2012 that Megan, where are you, Megan? Please stand up. Because this is all her fault. Said, "There's a guy who looks just your type." Which I initially thought meant that he was not too old and didn't have too wide a parting. But Amy and DJ were introduced through a friend's circle and started meeting up at shows and going out for meals and went out for meals together. And I understand that a first date followed, which was at Mizu's Noodle Bar in Ipswich. And there was a lot more cosy dates followed of meals together and trips to the cinema. If Only Marry Me had been released much earlier. So I soon sort of met DJ after this, and my initial impression was I was quite impressed by his confident personality, but also his thoughtful nature. And he seemed a bit different, but in a good way. And there was no sheep in sight, and he was an England rugby fan to boot. So I was pleased when things seemed to be progressing well, and I began to see a bit less of Amy. And then I heard that you were going on a lovely holiday to Venice, staying on an island in the Venetian lagoon for the culture and history. As I said, Amy learnt a lot of history from me, mostly about castles. And I began to think that perhaps he would be the special one for my maggot. Nearly there now, folks. And of course, their next big step was buying a house together in 2016 in Great Blakenham, not far from where we all live. So that was no mean feat in itself these days. And there followed that lovely surprise engagement. Well, it was to Amy. During your family holiday with the Stanways to Cyprus in 2017. So that's a suave act, DJ. So intelligent, kind, handsome, humorous, athletic, an England rugby fan, and a keen DIY and gardener. But that's enough about me. It's enough about me. Let's focus on DJ. I think DJ was all of the above, well, except for the DIY and gardening. But a much better and a much younger version of it. He's considerate, responsible. He's a keen ice hockey player, I know, and of course a Liverpool fan. although we won't mention who won at foot golf the other weekend. So, I'm going to leave the rest to Jeanette and Chris and the best man. But other than to say, I had no hesitation in giving my blessing to their engagement. I'm really looking forward to having DJ formally in the family, not least as I'm gaining a strapping son-in-law who can do all my DIY and gardening jobs when I get too old.
As long as I'm on them wonky.
Well, perhaps you'll get to enjoy an England Grand Slam or perhaps a Rugby World Cup win or two. Now, I'm sure you've all had loads of good advice about what makes a long and happy marriage. I don't feel qualified yet myself, so I'll keep mine brief, unlike this speech. Here's to the past for all that you have learned. Here's to the present for all that you share. Here's to the future for all that you can look forward to together. And I was going to add just one thing, which is it's lovely to have fantastic days like today, but the important things for you guys is how you love and respect and treat each other day on day. But I know that you will, because I've seen the love between you.
Cheers. All the best. Cheers.
So, to everyone, if you're able to stand, please raise a glass and toast our two VIPs, my beautiful daughter Amy and my handsome England rugby supporter and now son-in-law DJ. So, to Amy and DJ. Sorry, I mean Mr. and Mrs. Stanway.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Roy. That was an amazing speech. So many lovely memories of all of us together and throughout what's been going on. It's absolutely amazing. So, wow, everyone, what a day. What a day it's been so far. I couldn't let today go by without standing up before you and sharing some memories with you all that you might be surprised about, you might laugh, or you even might cry. And being so proud of our couple here today and all of the people and horses who have been part of their journey to this memorable point, most of who are sat here before us. Thank you all for coming midweek to celebrate this amazing day with us. We have so much to celebrate, memories to create and share, advice and love too. Thank you, Roy, for being Amy's amazing dad. To you, I'm very grateful that we have two such beautiful children. Thank you. We have families here today coming together, and we have gained 4 new brothers and 1 new sister. Already sharing trips and days out together, obviously having so much fun. And I always wanted a large family, and now we have one.
You've got what you wish for, do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Bear with me. So let me take you back a bit. As a horsey mum with lots of horses, I always wanted to be able to enjoy the horses with my children. Joe, my son, his dad Roy, and I shared 5 years before Amy arrived, spending lots of time at the stables with the goats, the horses, the breeding mares, the foals, the stallions, me show jumping, gymkhana, fencing and stable repairs, chickens, ducks and bonfires, of which Joe was the happiest playing with. You wait, boy, until it's your turn. We've got quite a few stories about you too. Joe loved the outside and the ponies, but could quite honestly take them or leave them, but has since always said to me, if I had the good ponies like Amy did, then I'd be as good as she is. Naughty Flair really was Naughty Flair. Anyway, Amy, on the other hand, as soon as she could walk and make noises, she wanted to be with the ponies. And I found myself sneaking quietly off to do the horses while Roy distracted her, for if she knew where I was going, she would definitely kick off. So I realised there was a pony mad child I'd always wanted. She would craze to come with me to the ponies, and that continued on into adult life with wanting to go to all the shows. So together we made plans and arrangements to take her with me to the stables more often, mum and daughter time in one direction and dad and son in the other. She was, as Roy has already said, she was popped on a horse in front of me as I sat on him at a show, Levante. She crazed to get on any pony, arms up in the air, crying when it was possible, even when it was not possible. Quite quickly, she became good, and at 2 years old, had her own riding hat she would wear all the time at the ponies, just in case a riding opportunity came up and getting the hat took too long and the opportunity was missed. She rode Sherry, a little pony I had for lessons, and she could do rising trot without holding the saddle, holding the reins properly at just over 2. When going round on the lunge and past people watching, she continued to look at them, making sure they were watching, but nearly falling off as her head wouldn't turn round that far as she continued on the circle. When she did fall off, she cried, not because she was hurt, but because she wasn't on the pony. And as soon as she was put back on the pony, she'd stop crying and want to continue. So Roy was often in kittens, but knew she was in safe hands, and likewise me with Joe, with him, with the bikes and the motorbikes and football. These are all the qualities and advice I want to pass on to this new little family unit. Learn from your mistakes, take little bits of advice from everyone, disregard what doesn't align with you both, and take on board what does. That's what makes the next family unit so very important and unique. Amy's love for ponies continued, and her stepdad Matt and I purchased a little pony called Sunny Delight. And what a delight he was. I believe one of the tables is Sunny Delight. Which one is that? Is it that one there? Yeah. It was Sunny Delight. Yeah, pictured on the table over there. We had a field, no stables, and Amy spent hours riding Sunny around the field, reenacting future dreams of an Olympic rider and being commentary of her own winning rounds. She was the winner of the gold medal and a champion. I caught this on film when she was about 9, and it's very precious to us. We went to pony club, gymkhanas, beach rides, and had so much fun. Lady was a pony I bred, a daughter of Levante and Sherry. And Lady came back to Amy when Amy was 13 and Lady was 13, both of the same age. And together they went on to higher level of show jumping, not just in Suffolk, but into neighbouring counties, right through until her later years of the ponies when she was 16. And I think we've got a lady table over there. So that's an important table to us. By that time, Matt had helped us build stables, a small sand school, brought a bigger lorry, and we went out weekend after weekend campaigning the ponies up and down the country. Other pony owners, as their children grew out of them in age and size, sent them to Amy to ride and help sell on. And we often went out with 4 or 5 ponies to shows as far away as Devon, Wales, Hull, Kent, Birmingham. So life was ponies all the way. On to horses. We purchased a top horse called Poker, which is what we'd named this table, and campaigned the country with him. And like Roy said, her getting onto the UK Young Riders Top 100 ranking list and was 14th. Quite an amazing achievement with just one horse. So all credit to her for the hard work and results at county and national level, and us to get her out every weekend, which Matt and I absolutely loved. So when out at these shows, we'd heard there was a new local rider, Groom, on the scene. A hot rider, Megan said. Your type, Megan said. You must look out for him. And at the next show, he happened to park right next to our horse box.
Happened to.
And the horses he was responsible for were also stabled next to Amy's. And I remember this really well because Amy and I peeked through the curtains of the window many a time on that show, watching the curtains twitching. And then I realised that Amy and DJ were ended up talking at that show quite a bit. And you're a good sort.
Yeah.
So, and I remember it well. So he came part of this family circle, as Roy said, and they often went to hot tub parties, which they got to know each other quite well within this friend circle. And then, and as a date instigated by DJ, and I guess you'd say the rest is history. So fast forward, DJ went on to keeping his horse with us, Taz, and then Billy. Again, we have the Taz table.
Here's a Billy table.
And we have a Billy table, and you can see there's photographs on each table of these, of Amy and DJ involved with those. And that was quite protective. And over time, DJ was allowed to stay at the house. But really, it was because at the stay away shows, all four of us stayed and slept in the lorry. A double bed on the Luton for Matt and I, and a small double bed made from the sofa and a table that really wasn't very suitable for DJ, a great Stratton great lad that he was, but obviously they made it work. So over the years, that was what was happening. Weekend after weekend, we were all sleeping together as a foursome, basically, and you wouldn't normally expect that. But we do have such great memories and shared over the 10 years that I have spent together. And one particular thing Amy and I want to thank DJ for, and that was being with Poker right to the very end, that tragic day. Poker broke his leg at the show while Amy was jumping him in the ring. Knowing that Poker had DJ with him, knowing that Poker had DJ with him right up to the very end while he was put to sleep. And we know how very hard that must have been for you, DJ. And we are both very grateful to you for this. And I haven't had a dopey face, so I'm all right to keep crying. I'm all right to keep crying. Anyway, these horseshoes in the front here are from Poker. I'll explain a little bit of that in a minute. So DJ loved his sport and his horses and his gym. And I remember being at a training session with the both of them on their horses, and the trainer pulled DJ to one side and said, "Look, mate, if you keep building your upper body, you'll struggle to ride effectively, as you'll be top heavy. So maybe it's time to decide which sport you really want to continue with. Riding boots, jackets being regularly altered, poor Lynn." I don't know. Yeah. To accommodate the muscle growth he was achieving in the gym, not being able to put the boots on at the show because the muscles had grown too much, because he was working towards a bodybuilding show. Often he made his own food prep up. And on one occasion he came down to the kitchen to make up his next meal, sat at the table and literally hogged into it like there was no tomorrow. One of the girls that was round at the time said, "That's okay, DJ, it's all yours, we don't want any." It was as though he was packing it away as fast as he could in case anyone was to pinch a morsel. In fact, he called Amy a food pikey when she stole odd bits of food off his plate, like an odd chip in the past, and this wasn't ever going to happen this time. After we lost Poker, we were given the ride of Neo. I think there's a Neo table over there. who got Amy back jumping again, and it was all down to him, giving her confidence to continue, although extremely hard at times, but we are very grateful to Neo for the 4 years we had with him. Tino was also her special jumping stallion. I think we've got a Tino table over here. We'd had him from a 2-year-old, and we finally sold him earlier this year as a successful 10-year-old, continuing with his show jumping career with an amazing new family. These horseshoes we have on the top table, and what she carried down the aisle, belonged to her special horse Poker. The farrier gave us his previous set of shoes. He said, if you ever go to a show and he throws a shoe, and they do that from time to time, then here's a set of Poker shoes right ready to be put back on. So we kept that set of shoes in the lorry from April 2013, and we lost Poker in June 2013. So it's a bit ironic that this farrier did this for us, or else we wouldn't have had these shoes that are so special to us. And these shoes have been in the lorry ever since. We wanted to connect everything up today, so you all knew the relevance and the importance of each of these name tables, pictures and horseshoes, as each is so very important to all of us. Back before we lost Poker, Amy joined the amazing Juice Plus company. So today we also have our Juice Plus family here with us too. Thank you for joining us from around the country and around the world and making the long trips here today with us. Juice Plus is all about inspiring healthy living around the world, and Amy and DJ definitely do that. They're passionate about this for the last 9 years. Me, DJ, Joe, Matt, and even my mum, being a 3rd generation in the business. She's even Partner Plus. My grandma, Amy's grandma, are all getting amazing health results along the way. So Amy and DJ have been able to buy their own house together, and this wedding has been massively funded by the full-time income Amy achieved reaching IMD in this amazing company. Only a couple more levels to reach at the top 12 that are available. Both DJ and Amy have worked so hard to get to this point, and their work ethic together and each on their own is outstanding. Nothing in life comes easy, as we all know. So the first I knew about the possible engagement or hand in marriage between these two was quite unusual and definitely not planned. I got a phone call from DJ at 7:30 one morning in a very unusual blind panic. He needed my help urgently, he said. He had been choosing an engagement ring for Amy, and guess what? Instead of sending it to Lynn, his mum, he accidentally sent it to Amy. So he wanted me to drop everything and drive to the house, get the phone, delete the pictures, and come up with a believable story in the process.
It worked. You didn't believe it.
What the actual hell? How was I ever going to pull this off? Her phone was nearly always in her hand, as you all know. He also rung her and spoke to her and told her not to look at any pictures he had sent through. So I arrived. She was upset. She was worried. She wanted to know what was going on. So I calmly just said, well, DJ's trying to arrange a surprise holiday for you and has actually accidentally sent you the pictures, and he doesn't want to spoil the surprise, so wants me to delete them. And she believed me. It worked. She believed me, as I managed to delete the pictures. Now, I'm not very technology minded, so that was quite a feat for me, because I didn't realise they go into the delete box and had to delete them as well. Well, DJ, we got away with it. And that was how I found out DJ was going to propose to her on their next family holiday. I wanted to thank my lovely mum and dad for being here. I know DJ wanted his grandparents here too. But sadly, the long trip from Liverpool was too great for his granddad. and they are definitely with us today in their thoughts, in thoughts. Family is so very important to us all, and even more so over the past 2 years with COVID and what we've been through and what we are seeing in Ukraine makes us feel so very grateful for all we have today. I am nearly finished. I want to thank Amy's cousin Melissa and her husband Nick and their 2 gorgeous little children for making the special long journey to be with us today, coming all the way from Houston, USA. Thank you so much. Amy and DJ were overjoyed you could make it, and wow, you've made a very happy grandma, Auntie Val too. You should have seen her face the other day when she realised that they would be sitting on the table with them. The joy was amazing to see, and for that, Melissa and Nick, I'm very grateful for that alone. As we all know, DJ is an amazing person. I have laughed and referred to him as a good sort, often a way we describe a horse. Sorry, DJ, but you really are a good sort. Amy decided to have a card reading the other day, to which DJ thinks is all a bit airy-fairy, until Amy told him one of the cards was the Emperor card, which usually relates to the partner or someone amazing in your life, which was clearly DJ in Amy's eyes. Someone who is inspirational, supportive, strong, always there for you and a shining light. And that was DJ. Of course, DJ believed this bit of the reading and took more interest of the rest of the reading recording. Amy is quite an emotional soul, take things to heart, wants to be treated the way she would treat others, wears her heart on her sleeve. Don't know where she gets that all from, do you? She lets me and DJ know about everything and can be quite demanding with her highs and lows in a good way, as it's no point storing it. It needs to come out and be shared. This can be hard for both me and DJ. Sometimes I arrive, DJ has to leave for a PT session, training session, or I've come to pick Amy up to go to an event, appointment, together or meeting, and DJ will walk out the door and he'll say, I'm tagging you in. Her emotion. So I can take over as he slaps my hand in a high five action and says, I tag you in, it's your turn to take over, and vice versa. Good luck. When I bring her home, this has been going on for quite a while, even back in the show jumping days. So it's been going on for quite a while. We had to tag each other in. It's actually a standing joke at the moment, as we raise our hands and walk out past each other and say, it's your turn to be tagged in. My advice to you both, as you go forwards as man and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Stanway, continue on as you are, because you're already doing a great job. Be strong for each other, share everything with each other, inner feelings, highs and lows, wins and losses. Be honest, no secrets. Be mama and papa to Pascal and future children, I'm sure, but also continue being Amy and DJ. Carry on dating and having nights out, it's so precious. Carry on doing what each other's love duties are. Boys, when you put the bins out, cut the grass, unpack the dishwasher, or whatever other these unspoken love duties are of the house, that's more likely to get you further than a bunch of flowers. Talk, speak, love, date. Continue to work hard, because there will be more hard times to follow, and learn from others. We are all here in this room to be tagged into your journey. Whenever you feel the need, this room of people is here for you both. I am so very proud of you both, especially for the unbelievable relationship I have with you both as a couple, as a mum and daughter, and as a mum-in-law with DJ. Only you have been able to shorten my name ever and call me Nanny Nettie to Pascal. I guess that name will stick well into the future. I'm so very proud of you two, love you both very dearly, and couldn't wish for a better couple to unite together as man and wife. We love you all, Amy and DJ. Thank you. Want to do another toast? Thank you.
I'm not sure I need this.
You'll be fine. You'll be all right. Use it.
So I'm Chris. I am DJ's dad. And I deserve a medal for that. He is, as all my family knows, my favourite. It depends on the time. I'd like to welcome all of you here. It's a special occasion, family and friends, and people who've travelled a great deal of distance to be here. So that's a really good thing. I'm very, very pleased.
What, Ipswich?
And Ipswich. So also thanks to the bridesmaids. Can you please stand up? They are stunning. Absolutely stunning. And as they came down the aisle, one after the other, I felt like they were coming to be married. It was that good. It was special. Really special. The grooms, I'd asked them to stand up, but they've really not done anything.
Apart from beach, you're in Centre Park.
Yes, apart from push me onto a place in Centre Parks where I couldn't get off in the flume. Which, you know, is embarrassing, and I will get them later for that, don't worry. Let's talk briefly about DJ. It's very simple, really. He's honest, he's strong, he's firm, and he's always committed in whatever he does. And that's the important bit at the end, because that commitment will be in the marriage. And that will sustain the marriage, and that's what will make it a success. And that's the bit that really I think we should all thank him for. Amy. Well, me and Lynn first saw her riding in a red jacket on a horse that we both thought was far too much horse for her. It was very, very large, and she was very, very small, and I thought it was all going to end in tears. And we watched as she went round the jumps, and within a very short space of time, I realised, oh my God, this little dot of a thing is completely in control of that horse. And it was brilliant to watch. It was stunning to watch, and it was a little bit frightening to watch. But it was that determination that I saw on the horse, which is the best bit about her, the bit that makes it all work, and the bit that I think she'll take into the marriage. And that's why I think it's going to work as a married couple. Of course, I could have done all of that on Esme's horse, Barney. You know, but I didn't want to embarrass them, you know. I had a pair of boots that almost fitted me. It could have been made to work.
Still got time, Chris.
I've still got time, thank you. Thank you.
Retirement's just around the corner.
What makes you think I haven't already retired?
I was being polite.
But they are now part of our family, and you know, her family's part of our family, and that's a great thing. And I'm really looking forward to the future in that regard. We have great hopes, me and Lynn have great hopes for them. They've set out on their journey, and frankly, I can only compare that journey to our marriage, me and Lynn's marriage. If they manage to do what me and Lynn have done as a married couple, they've got no worries at all. Yeah, no worries at all. I think it'd be great if you have children. I think the more the merrier. Just remember they're very expensive things.
What do you mean?
You especially.
4 cars.
How many cars have you written off? So I'd like you to rise and give a toast. May your marriage be full of love to DJ and our new daughter-in-law, Amy.
To DJ! All the best.
Cheers.
Cheers, darling.
Now, wasn't that easy?
Sure, simple, Chris, how we like
And I
it.
didn't need that.
I don't think I need it either. If you don't need it, I'm not going to need it. My name's Josh. I'm the best man for DJ. He's regretting it right now. He's sitting there cool, calm and collective, but underneath he is shaking like a something dog. I won't swear because Chris is here, and it is a wedding day. So my name is Josh. For those of you that know me, you know what's about to happen. For those of you that don't, I can only apologise. If you don't want to speak to me after, that's fine. I get it. DJ, if you've got a seatbelt in that seat, buckle in, buddy. It's about to get rough. So I did a bit of Googling before best man speeches, trying to find out length of time, things like that. Wanted to know what a good time was. And I read somewhere that the perfect best man speech should last as long as it takes for the groom to make love. So raise your glasses to a happy couple. I'll get in trouble for that one, I know it. So next one, thank everyone. So I'd like to thank all of you for coming for my big day. And you're not wrong, I have said my big day, because Amy, I love you to pieces. You've been engaged for 5 years, you've known DJ for 10, but I've known him for 14. So it's my big day. I've waited longer for this moment to tear him a new... Again, I don't want to say it.
Asshole.
All right, Chris is here, don't, because he'll tell you off for swearing.
Pack that in.
Yeah, you've got to be respectful. So this is my big day. Amy, though, I've been to weddings and I've heard best man speeches, and they always make a joke about how beautiful the bride is, but how they're better looking. Today, unfortunately, I can't say that, because today, even when I turned round initially, I saw the 6 bridesmaids walk down. You look stunning as well, by the way. I kept saying to DJ, look forward, DJ, look forward. Don't turn round, don't turn round. She's not coming yet. She's making you wait. And you did, because the first 6 came down in a nice, timely order, and then you made us wait a little bit. I don't know if it's because Roy was tying a shoelace or something. Something was going on, and you must have got about 3 or 4 steps down, and I turned around to DJ, I said, you've got to look. Because I looked, and I couldn't not let him look. You look stunning today. Honestly, I've seen you for 14, well, the whole time that you've known him, you've always looked beautiful, but today was something else, honestly. Like your dad said, breathtaking. It was a scene. I nearly cried. You didn't help with the sodden song, but we don't need to worry about that. But yeah, you were honestly stunning today, so I'd like to thank you for that. I'd also like to thank you because now DJ's your problem, not mine. 14 years that I've had to worry about him. I haven't got a worry in the world now. I can go do what I like. I don't care. If he calls me, not my problem. Any calls from him are now directed to you, so it's done. I don't care. Bridesmaids, again, like to thank you for all the hard work that you've done, because I know how high maintenance Amy is. So congratulations on fucking getting her here. Sorry, Chris, because that was a feat in itself. Groomsmen, you've done a fantastic job. Obviously, the stag do, I planned with the help of Michael giving me the option, but I didn't get to attend because of COVID. So they got to have fun without me, which was always fun for me, sitting in my bedroom whilst DJ's FaceTiming me, and Nick and Mike are fighting on a sofa in the middle of Centre Parks. No, you were both fighting with each other. There was pillows being thrown everywhere, and I was like, oh, there's staff around, because I'm pretty sure they've still got my details, and I don't want to get in trouble for this. Thankfully, there was no staff, so it's all right. Parents, obviously. Well, you'd like some.
Well, yes, I would like. Yeah, they are somewhere. I don't know where they are. obviously, parents for DJ and Amy, I think everyone can agree what a fantastic job you've done. Through the years that you've raised them from being probably annoying children up to being annoying adults, really, because if they're anything like they are now, they're still annoying. So, but you've done a fantastic job. I'd like to add more to Lynn and Chris, because you've taken me in almost as a son of my own. I call Lynn Mama. I call Chris because he scares the shit out of me. I'd never call him anything else. And he's called me son a couple of times, and I thought, I'm in here. And then I've not been. Obviously, to the three boys and Esme, thank you as well. Esme, you've always been the smartest one out of everyone. You three, I don't know how you're alive. The amount of car accidents you've had and shit you've got up to, I don't know how you two how you've still survived, but it's good to have you here today, that's all I can say. That's really it. So, I first met DJ, nearly 15 years ago at university. I was learning how to kick a football, which was a sport degree. DJ was learning how to not fall off of horses, but wasn't doing a good job of it, in an equine degree. Show me your arm. Yeah. Try and put something on the top of a car, he can't reach it anymore with his left arm. Got a bit smashed up when he fell off a horse. I did check to make sure he was okay when he fell off. When I found out he was okay, I did laugh, so don't take anything bad from that. It was one of those things. We met playing rugby, and as you look at him now, you think, yeah, he's a rugby player. He's a big boy. He knows what he's doing. No, when I met him, he was 9.5 stone and was probably as useful as a wet bit of paper. So I was the biggest, and I still probably am weight-wise. Get that in before someone else does. One of you three, calling me fat. But yeah, he was the skinnier version of the two of us. We connected straight away. I realised that he couldn't drink so much because he's got a bit of a lazy pancreas. They call it diabetes, but I like to call it lazy pancreas. It's kind of one of those things. We got on like a house on fire. The first memory that I've got of DJ was when he invited me round to his house at a weekend, and he went, "Come round, all the family will be at home." I was like, "Yeah, no, that's fine, that sounds great." He goes, "We'll go back to your house first, we'll then go to mine, you'll come in my car." Okay, yeah, got in his Ford Focus, which it was at the time. Love that Ford Focus, because at the time I thought it was the fastest thing in the world. It's not anymore. And he took me the back route. And all I can explain to you is this back route is a lot of sharp bends in the middle of nowhere in pitch black. But he was still doing 85 miles an hour around these bends. I think as I got out of the car, there was a hole in the floor where I was trying to push the brake on the passenger side, and I had a little bit of the seat cushion in my arse where I'd been clenching so hard as we were going around the corners. But yeah, that was the way. And I got in the house, and he explained to me on the way, he went, "It's going to be a bit loud." And I was like, "No, it'll be fine." And it was very loud. I walked in, and I think Max was hanging from the stairs, which he got in trouble for multiple times. Nick and Mike were chasing each other around. Esme was running round after them, trying to tell them not to run around, which was how it was. I walked in, Lynn was cooking dinner, which you love to do, you like to feed people. And Chris had a bottle of red wine and a straw in the front room, watching some historic TV programme. Yeah, and that's how I remember you. That was the first time. I don't even think I said hello to you, to be honest, because you scared me a little bit. That's all I can say.
The first memory I have of you...
Oh, yeah, here we go.
...is when I was on the toilet.
Oh, well, this isn't good, is it?
And a puck came through the window.
Yes! I am not a very good ice hockey player, and we were playing outside. And this is not the first window I've broken
I
yours
shouted,
either.
"What the hell was that?"
He came out of the door and screamed at the boys, and I had to put my hand up and go, "Chris, I'm really sorry, that was me who put the puck through the window." And he went, "Josh, don't worry, it's not a problem." And I went, "Thank God." The next time something went through a window, we tried to play it off as a dead bird, didn't we? It was a basketball, because at the time their windows were single pane bit of paper. And I went to throw a ball up, it hit the rim, bounced, hit the window, hole. So we found a dead bird somewhere in the field, and me and DJ planned it, but instead of putting the dead bird inside of the house, where it would have gone, we put it outside. Come home.
Did you know about this?
Lynn turned round and went, Lynn turned round and went, why is the dead bird outside of the house? I went, yeah, good question. Should have gone through the window, shouldn't it? She went, yes. I was like, okay. Well, now you know that I've broke a window for a second time. Yeah. So, the two stories, well, that I've got about DJ, because realistically, he's quite straight and narrow, which is very boring. I'm the one that gets in trouble, and he usually bails me out, to be honest.
But now you're a police officer.
Yes, all right, don't tell everyone, right? Jesus Christ, there'll be people that hate me, right? So, the two that I've got is the first time that DJ ever stayed at mine and decided that his lazy pancreas was going to act up, and he had a bit of a hypo in the middle of the night. Now, when he stayed at mine, I'm in my bed, he had a single mattress next to my bed, and we were there. And my dad came in and he went, Josh, he goes, I think someone's downstairs raiding the kitchen. I'm not sure who it is. Now me, because I've just woken up, couldn't remember that DJ was staying here and that he wasn't in that bed. So I was like, no worries, Dad, let's go down. So we've both gone downstairs, ready for a bit of a row, thinking someone's broken into our house. No. It's DJ, standing in the kitchen, in his boxers, sweating, trying to find chocolate so that he could get some sugar into his system. And he turns around and goes, oh, sorry, did I wake you all? It's like, yes, not only did you wake us, but my dad was about to kill you because he didn't know who you were. So that was the first story. The second story, I nearly got killed for some reason. And Lynn will know this story because she sent me a threatening message. Threatening me, basically, because apparently her son got very drunk and it was my fault. It's not. DJ on nights out is usually very sensible. He knows where his limit is. And when he gets to his limit, he'll turn around to me and say, Josh, I'm not drinking anymore. And I'll go, no worries, that's fine, DJ. I'll get you waters with my drinks. This night, he decided to turn around to me and go, fuck it, basically. I'm going to drink with you. He made a bad decision. We got very drunk. Very drunk. And he was hanging off of a tree outside of our old university bar in the shape of this, swaying backwards and forwards whilst vomiting on the floor. My old bar manager came out, threw a bucket of water on the floor to get rid of it, to which DJ went, ha ha, then threw up on the floor again. She wasn't very happy. I then asked her for a lift home. She said, yeah, not a problem, Josh. Is DJ coming with you? I went, yes. She regretted that as well, because he threw up down the side of her car, out of the window. We got home, we got into bed. Again, I'm in the double bed, because I don't like him that much. He was in the single bed at the side, and he started retching. He started, Now, I'm drunk. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So I start laughing. He gets up, runs to the bathroom. My house only got one bathroom. So he's throwing up in the toilet. I can hear him. I'm still laughing. I start retching. I'm now in trouble because I've got nowhere to go. I don't know whether to go try and join him. I don't know whether to go downstairs to the bath, to the sink. No. I throw up down the side of my bed and leave it there till I wake up in the morning, where I turn around and go, DJ, did you throw up down the side of my bed? He went, no, that was you. I threw up in the bathroom. Okay, no worries. It then took DJ, how was it, about an hour and a half, 2 hours? It's normally a 45-minute journey to get home from mine to his. It took him 2 hours with 3 pit stops to throw up. He got home. He told his mum what had happened. It took him 3 days to equalise his sugar levels because apparently, again, all my fault. Don't know how it was, but it was my fault, which is the text message that I got from Lynn. So, yeah, don't get DJ drunk because if you do, you'll get blamed. That's what I'm saying.
Just bear that in mind tonight.
Yeah, bear it in mind. If any of you get him drunk tonight, just watch out. Yeah, it's Amy's fault tonight. Yeah, sorry. Actually, that's another thank you. Amy, thank you, because you've taken him off my hands now. He's all yours. You got any issues? I'm redirecting my number to you. I don't care. This is going to be the hardest bit, because this is the bit where I've got to say nice stuff about him. It really is going to be hard because I don't want to cry in front of everybody. I've got to, because it's hard to say how I can feel, in a sense. I don't... Oh, fucking hell.
You got it, Josh, you got it.
I don't need that. If I ever speak about you or introduce you to people... It's not as my best friend.
Got it, man.
Josh.
Is that actually girlfriend? I don't know which one.
Oh, you saved me. It's as my brother. You will never be more than my brother. Your family will be my family. I can't be...
You did amazing, Josh.
Oh, fuck it.
Shit.
You are my brother to me. You are family. You are everything to me. I look up to you. I have done since 17. Since 17 years old, I've looked up to you. I'm so happy you met Amy. Everything that you've got is what I've always wanted for you. And I can't be happier on a day or feel as proud or privileged to be your best man. Honestly, the day you asked me, even though I already knew, because if it had been someone else, I'd have fucking killed you. I knew that it was going to be my opportunity to say how I feel about you, and there's no one in this room, even your parents, that love you as much as I do, because it will always be that way. But the fact that you're with Amy and that you're happy, content, everything like that, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you two. Because if you've ever watched Friends, you need to buy a house that's got an annex for me to sleep in. Because I am Joey to Chandler. You're Chandler, I'm Joey. That's how it works. So I'd like to finish on a quote that I found from a film, which was When Harry Met Sally. And it goes, when you realise you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. So can everyone stand if you can? Please raise your glass. The rest of their lives together, Mr. and Mrs. Stanway. And I need a fucking hug.
Right. Down to you. Keep it short.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've just been talking about his gender changing operation.
Should you now refer to me as he and she?
Okay, so obviously a lot of speeches, a lot of things said. Firstly, thank you so much to all the kind words from everyone up here. Firstly, Amy, my wife. Hey! I know. I had no idea, I had some idea, but not a whole idea what the dress would look like today or what to expect. All I knew is that I know you'd look absolutely stunning. But I was totally wrong. Today, I could never have imagined how beautiful or elegant you would look today, and you were truly breathtaking. Right? I can't wait for a life of rhetorical and philosophical questions at 1 a.m. in the morning when I have work at 5 a.m. to travel the world with you, to support you through all your challenges you may face, to be by your side no matter what, to do all the free PT sessions that I end up doing on a regular basis for the rest of my life, and to all the little things day to day that make our relationship so great. But most of all, I feel truly blessed to be married to you today, to have had such an amazing journey for the past 10 years all the way up to this day. I'm unbelievably grateful to start the next chapter with you today. Secondly, I want to say special thank you to our mums and dads, not only for all the help and support you've given us in the lead up to today,
but also for all the love, guidance you've given to us over the years that shaped us into the people that we are.
You got it, yeah, go on, mate. You got it, mate, you got it.
I also want to thank the best man for always being there whenever I need him.
You got it. It's hard, isn't it?
I know. To the maid of honour for being such a special friend to Amy, and to all the bridesmaids and grooms for being there and being part of this whole journey building up to today. Secondly, lastly, I'd also a huge thank you to all the family and friends who've joined us here today. Some have come from as far as the United States, the Emerald Isle, and from every corner of the UK. Thank you so much for making the journey and making this day even more special than we could ever imagined. I think I kept it real short and sweet. So I want to raise a glass to my beautiful wife, but also to all of you here today for joining us. So if you can all stand. To you and my beautiful wife.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well done.